Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock by request, where it's a review of the movie Varsity Blood, and this one comes to us from fellow YouTuber Christopher Harris. A bunch of high school students are going to get together on Halloween because it's the end of the school year or some crap like that, I don't know. And of course, a bunch of teenagers on Halloween, what are they going to do? They're going to go out into the house in the middle of the woods and have themselves one heck of a good time full of the three things you always expect to see in a slasher movie: sex, drugs, but no rock and roll. Apparently, there's somebody in their school mascot's outfit who's out for, what else? Well, not exactly a good time. Hannah is the new girl in town. Well, sort of. She's been there for quite some time. And she gets a backstory on why on earth the principal earlier in the movie was kind of having a breakdown during a big speech after a pep rally. I thought those things always cheered people up. Well, they never really did me. I just sat in the stands and went, yeah, go team, whatever. So there's a backstory on this kid whose sister was involved in a cheerleading accident, and he wound up in a mental institution, or it might have been his girlfriend. I don't know. Don't care. They kind of get the backstories kind of mixed up in this one. So Hannah and her friends go to the house, and while they're there, they're trying to have some fun. But guess who shows up? The guy in the Warriors costume. Yes, this team's called the Warriors. He shows up and starts using whatever weapons at his display, which is apparently, whatever a warrior, I guess, in this movie could afford to use. So it comes down to Hannah and Jeff to try and take care of the warrior killer, I guess you could say. And she winds up finding out that the warrior killer is actually her mom's boyfriend, Rick. And her mom was in on it too. Ooh, double twist, I guess, something like that. I don't know. So basically what happened was that her mom really didn't want her being around all those other bad influences. So Rick was supposed to pretty much just take them all out, get rid of them the whole 9 yards. And things go a little bit too far when Rick winds up taking out Hannah's mom. And Jeff appears after being apparently, looked like taken out by Rick earlier. But he's not much help. Hannah winds up defeating Rick. And there's mention of the kid named, I think his name was Ben in the movie, still on the loose because he was told it was said he was supposed to have been released, or he actually escaped from his mental home earlier in the movie. I say he's still out there, setting up for a sequel that I pray to God never happens. The only star of this movie is Debbie Rochon, and unfortunately, she couldn't save this piece of crap movie. So why did this movie suck? Well, from what I read about the director, this is like his second or third football horror film. That's not exactly a great combo. If you really want a good horror comedy involving football, Pandemonium. Just throwing it out there. Actually, that was more of a spoof than anything. This movie has so many annoying characters. You don't even really know if you're even going to be able to get through the first 10 minutes of the movie. And the movie just kind of starts off with what you would pretty much expect. The guy's first victim, or I should say Rick's first victim, slips and falls in a gymnasium, and it's like, yep, she's gone. You got a couple of red herrings. I mean, the principal was one I was picking, was probably going to be it. Or Herman, who's who dresses up in the school mascot outfit and got picked on by the jocks. But then you find out it's Rick, and it's like, okay, that kind of came out of nowhere, but made no sense. But who cares? This movie's stupid. The acting is terrible, and the worst part about this movie is that it gets about 25-30 minutes into the movie when everybody arrives at the house in the middle of nowhere, and it's dark. Okay, now you may be sitting there kind of going like, well, that's kind of typical. No, you don't understand. I mean, it's dark. you can't hardly see anything. You can't hardly see the kills. You can barely see anything in the movie. And when they do have some lighting on something, it's maybe about a few seconds, and yeah, it's god awful. It's crap, and it's here on YouTube if you want to watch it. Just proceed with caution, okay? There you guys have it, a review of Varsity Blood. Good lord. Kind of ironic that I'm putting this video up on a Monday when it's supposed to be a big football game happening on Monday Night Football. I don't know who's playing, but I bet it would be more entertaining than this movie was. Special thanks to Christopher Harris for his request, and I think he'll have some videos up before too long, or maybe he might give an opposing viewpoint on this movie. If he does, I'd like to hear what he has to say. Although I can't imagine that he would actually disagree because he requested this movie. but there it is, Varsity Blood. So if you like my videos, always feel free to subscribe. If you got a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, or fantasy horror movie that for some stupid reason brought in a sport that made you hate the sport afterwards, send it my way and I'll get on it ASAP. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching. And until next time, as always, stay strong and rock on.